requested by Ed. I want to do a quick video here on how the tilt trim system works on my Mariner 50. Reasonably straightforward. It's a motor I bought for 150 bucks. Came with all the parts. Seems to be working so far. We haven't had it on a boat. That could change, but we'll find out one day. So tilt trim system on this Mariner 50 contains ram here, ram on the other side. In here is a limit switch that will stop it going too far up, which I'll explain a little bit later on. Down here we have a remote pump for it, which you've got to mount somewhere. Future issue, it's a bit messy, but we'll clean it up when we go. We have the hydraulic hoses, and we have one cable coming out of that limit switch. All right, we'll start with a little bit of explanation of the actual hydraulics itself. So the hydraulics on this are a double action system. That is why two rams are not relevant. It's the fact two rams is one for left, one for right. Keeps it centered, keeps it equal, keeps it balanced. The double action is why there's two hoses on each one. If you get a tipper truck, for example, it may be a single action. It pumps fluid up and gravity pushes it back down through the same hose. This is different. This pumps up one way to lift or retract it, and then pumps back the other way at the same time. So you need that dual pressure up and down to make it work. So there is two hoses out of each one going down to the pump. If we get down here and have a look, as I said before, it's a little bit messy. I'll try and explain a bit of what's actually going on here. All right, this is the hydraulic pump and motor in front of us. It's the reservoir and pump in one thing. As you can see, I've done a bit of a zip tie here, stuck it on. That'll do the job for the moment. Main components would be motor itself and the reservoir down here. If we have a look on the, I'm going to try and find it again. Still right in front of me, can't even see. Fill plug right there. How to drain it properly, I have no idea. It didn't have fluid when it came, so crack the lines, take it out, pump it out, suck it out, whatever you need to do if you want to drain it. It does say on the side here, there are a few instructions in case yours doesn't have a sticker. And there we go, give you a bit of time to read that. You can pause it, 10W30 or 10W40, fill it up however you can. I don't think hydraulic oil is necessary. It's basically the same thing in this situation. As you can see, we've got a few dodgy components here that need fixing bit by bit. There's a bit of bare copper here, which isn't the end of the world for the moment, as long as we don't short it out. The solenoids are a little bit average looking up the top. Plugs down here is a little bit loose, I need to tighten it. We've got a fuse holder here. Pretty straightforward. Main things we're going to start playing with are the wires coming out of here. We've got a red, we've got a green, we've got a blue, and we've got a purple. These go back to your trim switch in your cab or your center console or wherever you may have a switch. Mine wasn't working, but I'll explain that one a bit soon as well, and we'll go from there. I'm going to try and give you as much detail as we possibly can here, but see how we go. I don't know particularly what you need to know. Up the top here on your solenoids, you've got a little bus bar through here. That is where your positive will connect. Positive connects onto here. That's your key thing. Earth, I believe. Sorry, just need to sit down while we're down here. Earth goes onto the top. I believe that would be the actual earth fitting, or it is an earth fitting. I believe that's where it's meant to be fitted. You need power and earth coming from your battery to go to there. If you don't have an isolator switch in the way, this will always be live. If you get a solenoid short or something, it could potentially make it so the motor kicks in, lifts up your outboard and locks on. Don't particularly want that. I would recommend running an isolator switch somewhere in line of the positive, preferably back near the battery or somewhere accessible. For the sake of 20 bucks, probably worth throwing one in. All right, let's have a bit of play around here with the electrics and I'll explain which wires do what. Hopefully yours are the same, or this will be a little confusing, but the principle will be the same, the colors will just be different. In this one, I know already that a blue wire, blue is up. If I put the blue wire to the red wire, the red is the full-time power coming from the solenoid that is coming from the battery. The motor should, in theory, lift. Works as it should. The green one is the opposite. The green one, put it on, the motor will pretty much run a reverse polarity, spin backwards, and it will pump it down. Now we make it a little bit interesting. Mentioned before we've got purple wire as well. And we have a limit switch over here. The purple wire is the limit switch. It will stop the motor, so it is an up and out switch. The up and out switch is designed for when you want to pull up, you don't want to lift it too high, you just want to get it out the water. If we put the blue and the purple together and put it on power, the motor's now going to lift up, but it'll stop at a predetermined spot. That's pretty much the theory there. Nothing too tricky to it. I think realistically, that is about the basics of it. There's nothing else too tricky to it. I'll do up a quick diagram of how to wire the switch, so the switch would work, in case that's a bit mysterious to you as well. It depends if you've got a factory switch or just want to make a toggle switch work. Either way, I can't really see it make a difference. Factory switches look nice, toggle switches are cheap. All right, I'm gonna do a quick diagram. Ignore the dodgy lighting, ignore the dodgy camera work, ignore everything. I'm not a photographer, I don't know what we're doing. This here is the original switch. You can see down the bottom, it has a down, an up and out, which was our purple wire, and just an up. So up, down, up and out. If you have a look at the back of it, this is why it has been cut off. Very, very corroded, and it's even got a wire missing off here. Never going to work. I believe the up worked on it, but nothing else. So if we want to redo this, and we want to start from fresh, we're going to have, and bear with me here, because this is all, I'm working this out as we go as well. We've got a battery, let's say that's a battery. So we've got a ram over here, because that's how you draw a ram, I guess now. Another ram, that's how you draw a ram. Close enough anyway. And we'll call this a pump and a motor thing, that'll do the job. Somewhere in the middle, we're gonna have to have a switch as well. Is this the best way to draw it? I don't know, but we're about to work it out. Coming from the battery, we've got a positive side here, negative side here. The negative here went to the motor, the positive here went to the motor. Positive comes out of the motor here and would go to a middle prong on a three-way up-down switch. So it'll be an on, off, on. And that was on, off, on. So in the middle is just a hard power. On this side will be one direction, and on this side will be the other direction. So let's say this will be up, and this will be down. So we're going to have a red wire in here, and then out of here we're going to have, let's say, green and blue. So blue wire is going to go into this one, and green wire is going to go into this one, and red's going to go to the middle. That way when I flick the switch this direction, green, it'll go down. When I flick the switch this way, blue, it'll go up. That's pretty much a very basic version. That's all I'm going to do, just because it seems simple. If you want to add in your up and out switch, we would then put another wire into here, which would tee another wire in to another separate switch. And this would just be a two-prong switch, an on-off switch. So a wire would go in here, and in this side from here, we're getting pretty creative now, into here would just be the purple wire. When you flick this switch one way, the purple wire would then intercept in this, and would make the blue wire, your up wire, have a limit switch. If you turn it off, the limit switch will no longer work. Pretty much that. I think that's about the best drawing I can do. I'm not much of an artist, and I didn't actually need to draw the rams in the end either. Hopefully that answers what you need to know. If you got any more questions, I'll see what I can work out, and I will pretty much make something happen. If we don't, we don't. I'm going to spin back around that way. We're going to look at the motor again. Quick flick, might see something else. And that over there is the 20-foot timber boat that I'm building for it. Currently upside down. It is a flat bottom 20-foot dory. Probably be a bit different when it's the other way around. Ignore the mattress, I don't sleep under it. That's just for when I flip the boat over. All good. If I can help with anything else, let me know. Thank you.